Um, Obviously, we had a great first half. Our defense played extremely well. Um, Very proud of those guys. I think the defensive coaches have taken a lot of abuse, because we've had some injuries and we haven't had the kind of performance that we'd like to have. And I thought the defense stepped up big time today. And the reason that we had a chance to win that football game was because our defense played the way they're supposed to play. We offensively, we're not able to run the football as well as we need to. There were some things that we've got to get corrected, and it was probably more physical than anything else. I mean, they're a good, tough defense, and you can't take anything away from them. But we weren't able to run the football, and we had a couple turnovers, which if you don't have any turnovers, you win the game. So we got to clean that up. We're going to, I'm proud of this football team because we fight, we scrap, we show up every day willing to work, and you can see over the year we were really a bad football team early, and we've become a pretty good football team where we can play the last 2 weeks head to toe to toe with two nationally ranked teams, and obviously in our opinion we should have won both of those games. So we're going to keep fighting. We're not giving up. We believe in what we're doing. We believe in the players. We believe in the coaches. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah, let's talk more about that defense. It seemed like the secondary, they kind of improved as the year went on. You see some guys come back this week. I mean, what did you think about them? They held Saginaw under 100 yards passing.
Yeah, the big thing, their quarterback's a scrambler, and he's going to try to run around and make a play. Our guys were fast to the football. Drake Reed leads that group and does a fantastic job. Having Brian Hill back this week, God, what a difference he makes for us. But Miles Harris did an excellent job. I thought that Chandler Edwards was really good, and they were just making special plays on the ball. The other one who stepped up, who, we want to use him on offense, but we can't, is Tavion Warren. He's such a good football player. He made some tremendous plays for us.
Just offensively, like you said, not being able to rush the ball. Where does that start? Is it the running backs hitting holes? Is it the offensive line? Where do you kind of see the woes there today?
Well, I don't necessarily want to put blame on anybody. They're good. They do a good job of stuffing the run, and they'll put more guys in the box than you can block, and so there were times when we would create a small seam, and they do a great job of stuffing it. But Kendall Williams averaged 6.4 yards a carry. We just had to do more special things to get him those opportunities, and we weren't able to do that. So ultimately, it's a mixture of their defensive tackles especially are really good. So it takes away a lot of the inside run game, and their outside backers, especially number 42, he's a really good player, and he took away a lot of our outside run game.
Right, early in the week, just in the locker room report, you talked about catching punts and catching kicks, trying to stay away from your own goal line. A couple times we saw more of that where you guys are backed up. How tough does that make it on the offense to just try and have to put together a 95+ yard drive?
You don't want to have to do that against really good football teams. If the big key is if you can run the ball, you can do it against anybody. But if you're struggling to run the ball and you're not consistent, protecting or making the plays, you've got to catch those balls. The other thing that hurt us, I think the last drive before they scored, when it was 14-all, we had a nice play, and we had a lineman downfield, and that one kills you. We just, sometimes the little things come back to bite us.
Yeah, and this program, we'll never talk about moral victories or anything, obviously, but as you look ahead, you've been in every single GLIAC game so far, now you get the two big dogs. Is there anything that you can take from these games that allows you to have some confidence going into those last two?
Yeah, I think everything. The majority of this football game we're winning, The last week against the undefeated football team, Davenport, we were down by 2 scores and took the lead at the end of the game. Our guys can compete against anybody, and I think the results, the closeness of the last 4 games now, 5 games, 4 games. The last 4 games, that just shows that we can compete against everybody. And I think for our guys, there's a lot of young guys that are learning, hey, guess what? I can compete. And I think that's what you're seeing. You know, they asked me at halftime, what does this show? And I'm like, it shows that we're a pretty good football team. And we can be. We're not there yet, but we can be.
Yeah, one more phrase. You look ahead, you get the bye week next week. How kind of big is that, especially when you go into a rivalry game with Grand Valley State and you get to see them for a second time?
Ideally, we'll get some healthy bodies back. We'll, you know, the pressure playing in the GLIAC week after week after week is you got to play every week hard, and I think to take some of the pressure off of the team this week, cut practice a little bit, and get our legs back and get our minds right is going to be critical.